Welcome back to Coming This Summer.
What? We're both here.
J.B. Martin. I'm tired. Ryan's through bed short.
You caught up on a show.
I stayed up all night catching up on things.
The most excited show of all time. Everybody most anticipated. It's Miss Marvel. It's. I liked episode 1 a lot more than this episode. I'll tell you that much. I thought they carried through the style of both of them, like with all the graphics, like
right.
the Homecoming
Very
stuff.
John Wattsy
Yeah.
for sure.
I thought that was just going to be
felt
episode
like
1.
Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Right.
And I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think the problem I'm starting to see now is you actually just mentioned it. It made me think about it with these MCU shows. The first episode, minus WandaVision, for almost every single one of these shows is like a mini movie, and then the rest of the episodes are television.
I feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki kind of deviated from
And
that.
Loki gives you the whole like wrap up of everything that kind of happens. It's a whole big build. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
Like all the first episodes are like an hour. It sets this a gigantic thing up, and then you have like 30, 40-minute episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I feel like everyone's like, oh, the first episode was
Moon Knight, the first episode.
felt totally different than the rest of the
it
show.
Ends where he's like clobbering the jackal thing or whatever.
Right,
and he's,
like a
in the
cliffhanger to a
suit.
movie.
Yeah, right. And then it's like, episode 2, here we go, and it's like, well,
But it's a
we're
different
resetting.
tone. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
we're
saying.
resetting.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely I feel like this is like it's like a light, fluffy.
They got to get her out of that suit like immediately.
Well, they already
like,
spoiled it with the posters and what
I know,
her suit's
but
gonna
like
look like.
that needs to be episode 3.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think
like,
it is.
Captain Marvel. Well, she gets like captured or whatever.
She
right?
meets her grandma, I guess.
Oh yeah,
That's her
so
grandma.
There's all like the heritage.
Even though her grandma looks younger than her
that
mom.
they've made up for the character just now, I think, because
Okay.
the bangle is not. She's an
How
inhuman.
she gets her powers, right?
She's an inhuman in the Terrigenesis.
They could
is how she gets her powers
they
in the
could
comics.
still say that activated something in her DNA, though. You
Okay.
know how that goes at the MCU.
All right,
Mhm.
okay.
Maybe that's why, because she always sees her grandma now when she's
Fuck
wearing it.
you. Hey, fuck you. Yeah.
I mean, I overall I think it's good. She kills it. The chick who plays
Iman Vellani.
Kamala, she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, she's
Like,
great.
She's great. Like, she's so over the top in the comedic thing. It's like she's exactly what the series needs.
I think because she is such a Marvel fan, it works.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because Kamala Khan in the comics is a fan of everything that's happening in the comics. So
My biggest issue, and I know why they had to do it.
Yeah.
I do, because for what the show's even
The-
called and what she wants to call herself.
Mhm.
But the beginning of the first episode, which I know you did the first episode review, and I watched the first two
Right.
back to back.
Right.
It's all of this like Captain Marvel, save the day, Captain Marvel, punch
That's what I'm
Thanos,
saying.
and I'm watching it, and I'm like,
Does Ant-Man
But
know
no.
Captain Marvel? Because she learns through the podcast,
Right.
I guess. But like,
but I mean, like, she showed up,
That's what I've
punched
been
Thanos
saying.
once,
and
and
she
then
left.
blew the recovery of the glove with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's literally what she did. Oh, and she went through one of his ships. She did fly through one of his ships.
She
didn't snap.
She did a lot, but yeah.
Well, because like in the beginning of the first episode, she's like, and she was the only Avenger that could even hit Thanos. And I'm like, did Cap not pick up Thor's shield and blast him across the
Fist.
battlefield?
You didn't hear where she whispered "fist" in the fine print of
But,
her
I mean,
dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's what I've
but
always
I
been
get
saying,
it. I
like,
get it. You
yeah,
know,
it's too early for Miss Marvel because can you be a Captain Marvel fan? I'm not shitting on like whatever.
Well, I get because there's not a lot of girls even in that universe
Not even
yet.
that. Not even that. Like Captain Marvel's been around for like 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't. She wasn't
but
around
that's what I'm
before
saying, though.
Infinity War, before the snap. So everybody got snapped, and she hasn't been on Earth.
Well, Black
like,
Widow's dead.
supposedly. Right. She's
And there's
dead.
no other real female Avengers that anybody's got behind.
Okay.
So I think if you're a girl, especially in that universe,
Okay.
who do
I
you
can
have
buy
to
that.
hang your
I can buy
hat
that.
on?
All right.
The Wasp. You know what I mean? You know, outside of Captain Marvel, I mean, Black Widow's dead. You could idolize her, but she's dead now.
She's dead. Yeah.
So
Kate nobody knows who Kate Bishop
yeah.
is. They're too young.
Too
America
young.
Chavez isn't like a superhero, you know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, like that makes sense. I get why they did it. It just feels after watching 25-ish movies and the build up, you're like, no,
But
Iron
the
Man and
entire-
Captain
but
America.
The entire yeah, right.
Those two did
Them.
everything.
Yeah, them and Thor maybe. A
A
bit.
little on the
Yeah.
third, but I mean, like,
Hulk was there.
those two literally gave up their lives. I mean, Captain America did it a different way, but they both literally gave up their lives to save. So like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's still out there flying
Captain
around.
Marvel bounced.
Right.
Yeah, Captain Marvel left. That's what I don't get. Like,
Wait a minute.
Captain Marvel showed up in the 90s, left. Here's my pager. And they only called her
When they
like,
needed her at the
20
last
years
second.
later.
Yeah.
20 years later. And she shows up after the snap already happened. And she just happens to not be snapped. And she's not like, I'm assuming she's not like stopping shit on Earth because she's like, I got space to deal with.
Yeah, she's
You know
dealing
what
with
I mean?
all of space apparently.
So like, where the fuck is she? Where has she been that people are like, Captain Marvel? Yeah, it's like.
See, if they don't do an
How do you know
episode
what
that
Captain Marvel
Paul
look-
Rudd is
How do
actually
you know
in,
what
that's
Captain Marvel looks like from a podcast? How do you know what her
that's what I'm
suit
saying.
is?
We need like
How do
an
you know she's
actual
blonde? Yeah.
like.
Was Ant-Man in charge of Avengers Con?
It
you
almost
needed to
sounds
give
like I
me-
think that's
you
what
needed to
they're
give me
leaning.
something like that, like it's Happy throwing Avengers Con or something.
It's probably we are probably
Anything.
gonna get
Yeah.
something like that.
Right.
I have a feeling we'll get like Avengers Con in another movie or show, and they're gonna start trying to
Okay.
tie all that together.
I
You
said
might
in
see
my-
that in She-Hulk.
I said in my first review that no Comic-Con or event ever looks that good. And I
The
wish it
lighting's
did.
never that dark.
No.
I wish the lighting was
That's
like
what
it.
I said.
Can I say that?
It
If you
looks
guys
like a
watching have never been to a
party.
Comic-Con,
That's what I said. This is what I said in the other one.
It's
I'm like,
a
it's
real
nothing like
Comic-Con,
that.
it's like they want you to see how hideous everybody looks just so you don't accidentally think.
Bright fluorescent lights.
Everything is bright.
Yep. Yeah.
Everything is bright.
All lights are
Everybody
on.
smells bad.
It's hot.
It's hot.
No matter where you are.
And no matter what.
It's a winter Comic-Con. It's hot.
It's just
It's
gross.
sweaty. Yeah.
It's sweaty,
You just-
stinky
You feel bad
for everyone that walks through. It's
I want to be. I want to go
That
to. I want to go to
Comic-Con.
AvengerCon right fucking now.
they got like rides inside the
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. There's
They're-
like games, like the
Yeah.
Thor hammer thing. Like
God,
bro.
they're all taking free pictures with.
Yeah,
That
right.
doesn't happen at Comic-Con.
Which they didn't get any superhero like.
Hey, nobody's there for Comic-Con. Like I thought Ant-Man when you said he had a podcast, I was like, okay, then he's
is
probably
be
gonna make an
signing,
appearance.
like in Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, he was in Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
You couldn't get him to do the same set and give a
Just-
2-minute filming thing for Miss Marvel.
Just change the background.
Change the background.
Keep the table.
She doesn't have to be
keep
there.
papers and just say this other line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cut to.
You know,
Or the-
Captain Marvel's my best friend. And then the entire sequence of the opening
Yeah.
is believable. Seriously, because you know how he over-exaggerates, but I'm sure it would actually be the Wasp who's friend. You know what I mean? He'd be like, you know me,
Right.
Captain Marvel. And that would we'd laugh and be like, okay, Ant-Man explained everything to everybody, so that's why it is the way it is.
There wasn't enough setup. Like
There wasn't.
One of the producers came out and was like, what if there were like drones at the battle so everybody
And
like
Kevin Feige
saw
said,
it. Fuck
You're
that.
fired.
Yeah, absolutely not. This is why I make the ideas, and this is why you're fired.
Yeah,
But-
what if like S.H.I.E.L.D. or
It's like
Stark
they-
Industries
it's
had
like
drones?
They wrote that show like with that idea, like already greenlit. Kevin Feige, he gave us the okay on the drones.
And then Kevin
at
was
the
like going
Battle
through the
of Earth.
script and went, what is this?
Yeah.
What
how
is
does,
this?
How does she
Come
know
here.
what Captain Marvel looks like? How do you base? They're like zombie Captain Marvel.
Ant-Man
and-
having a podcast absolutely makes the most
That was
sense,
the best.
though.
That was
That's
the
what
best.
that is what you only thing you have.
Yeah.
Because if Iron Man's dead, I could believe Iron Man making a spectacle out of it would also be a thing, but he's dead. So
Okay.
your next best.
But it would be like a press conference. He wouldn't
No,
have a podcast.
No, but
yeah.
he would put
Happy-
himself over the
Happy,
top.
I
I'm
could
saying.
absolutely
Okay,
see
Happy would be
having
the
a
other one besides
podcast.
Ant-Man.
Peter maybe post what just happened. Maybe has a podcast. If he was
Okay.
like still kept the path that he was on.
See, I'm wondering. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need Ant-Man in this. I need Ant-Man in the series before it's over.
In this?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he shows up.
I want him though. That's what I'm saying. It would have
Do
made
you even
everything
think
so
they
much better.
recorded an aside of a podcast episode with him like over like it's just VO at that point?
I
You
could
be
imagine that
listening
there
to
might
it
be something.
on an iPod.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
could see a scene where she gets depressed and needs to listen to something to inspire her, and there's no way that they just have a mention of a podcast without giving us some other thing later on. Even if it's not this
Yeah.
show, we're good. Even if it's an Ant-Man 3, we're gonna get more of that.
Yeah.
I know we will now.
That's how Ant-Man 3 is going to start with the
He's gonna
podcast.
be-
Yeah. We get an Eternals reference because one of the Eternals, Kunal Nanjiani or
Mhm.
whatever, he's like a Bollywood actor. So they're like talking about Kingo or whatever.
Okay.
That's one of the Eternals. So, yeah. And he's just like, he never ages, so he's
Okay.
just played himself for the
Okay.
past like 80 years.
I'm back and forth with him as an actor. Like I love him in Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
He's hysterical. But
He's
some of the stuff-
funny.
Some of the stuff
He's
he
really
actually
funny.
he actually saved the one episode of Obi-Wan. Like his
Where he
ridiculous.
just shows up.
He's just like a
Yeah.
half-ass bootleg
Yeah.
Jedi. Like I'm like, okay, that was pretty funny. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that he's just like forced into things now, but
Well, it's like we need comic relief. He's that guy now.
yeah. Yeah. Episode 2,
I mean, like I said,
I
I don't
didn't
hate
like-
the show. I like the way it's filmed.
yeah.
I like the ripping off the John Watts style, and I don't mean that as an insult. I definitely like the Homecoming vibes. I think it
No,
has
I
to
think
be
it's like
that.
supposed to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think anything that
it's on
Marvel does
purpose.
for the next few years that's set in a teenage, they
High
need
school.
to give it that vibe.
Yep.
Because if it goes, otherwise you get too cheesy.
There's like cosmic, right? And then like street level,
right?
and then like shield stuff, and then like high school is its own category now.
Well,
you know
now
what I
it
mean?
almost feels like Disney's getting it down to where like what they wanted to originally do with Netflix, and now they're
Okay.
starting to finally kind of
Huh.
feel out like
Yeah, I
there's
don't
like
need-
3 levels.
I
of
don't
Disney
need 3
Plus.
seasons of Miss Marvel.
No.
I need 1 episode or 1 season, and then throw her in the Captain Marvel movie.
I think the Young Avengers or whatever they're gonna call it will end up being like how the Netflix had their own special for the Defenders. And I think we'll end up getting
Okay.
a huge Disney Plus mega special
That'd be
3
kinda
episode.
cool.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hour and a half event. I think that's what they're leading up to. Honestly.
I could see that.
Because otherwise it's almost too much. You have to have another outlet besides just the movies. Like you have to start doing movies straight to Disney Plus too. Almost.
There
You
could
almost
be
have to.
a 6-episode Young Avengers.
That's what I'm saying, and I
thing.
watched the
I could
shit
buy
out of that.
Yeah, I could.
Because
buy
that's
that.
what they're doing with Armor Wars or Secret Wars or whatever the
You
wars
get
that
more
they're
out
doing.
of it that way too.
You can
get
flesh out
more
if you flesh out
time.
the right parts. Yeah.
Right. That you don't have to introduce all of them in their own shows. If you make it its own show, like Young Avengers, you don't need like
Build up extra.
an America Chavez show,
Right,
and like
right.
a Squirrel Girl show, and
Nope.
like no,
you
'cause
can
nobody will
introduce some
watch.
of those
Yeah.
into that.
And you put them in the movies, and then throw them into their own big spectacle show. Yeah,
I think that is where we're going. I
Yeah.
think they're setting multiple up. Like
Team
you
up
said,
show.
you got the high school level, but I think all that's the bottom rung of the Disney Plus MCU shows, right? And then you've got like, the top rung is probably like the Loki and the Moon Knight as far as like production goes. And,
Okay, Winter
and-
Soldier,
and
yeah,
people that
all
we're going to take
yeah.
into the movie side because they've got big enough names and big, you know what I mean?
Right.
But then you have the rest of the
Right.
stuff. Like Hawkeye's like that weird in the middle. That's
Okay.
why I think Hawkeye's going to be like one of those that's an
'cause
overarching.
that was a blend of both of the themes we're talking about.
Right.
Is the
True.
the spectacle stuff and like kind of like the high school, like younger.
I still think Hawkeye's nailed it so far the most out of all the actual shows overall.
Okay.
Like the tone of everything as a solid. I'm not saying it's the best show. I'm
That's
just saying
because it was a
it's-
Christmas show, and it was just like the perfect, like
The
all
cinematography
feel good,
still makes
yeah.
me it gives me goosebumps. That car chase scene with the 360s with the one shots are still some of the best I've ever seen in an action.
the big
movie.
arrow. I like that they're not doing the one shots really much in this. They're like making it like, oh, we're gonna make the text appear in the
Yeah.
background.
It's
and
all
we're gonna-
Spider-Man Homecoming credits, but
stylized.
all through the
Yeah, through the
entire
show.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Well, that's good. Like I said, check it out. It's good. I mean, I like it. I think right now I probably put it. It's better. I think I'm enjoying it more than Moon Knight. But I
Oh
don't,
God, yeah.
I don't think it's not above anything else yet for me. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. The jury's
Okay.
out. The jury's out.
I like it. I like when she's just like embracing it. She like does that whole scene when she gets home and she's like dancing and like singing.
That
or
part was
whatever.
funny.
It was fucking hilarious. Yeah.
And then like it comes out of her
It's,
like
all
trance,
in
and her
her head.
parents are like,
yeah.
and then she grabs the juice, and then it goes right back into the dance thing, and then she goes back upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was cool.
Like they did it. I
The
mean,
cinema,
like,
no, it's shot amazing.
I didn't think I'd like a Miss Marvel show. I've been saying like, oh, don't. No,
I mean, that's
I
why
I
it's
don't
shot
like Miss
that way. They were
Marvel.
like, how are we gonna get these dudes to like this? They're like, make female Spider-Man. And they're like,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm all for it.
see?
I think
it worked.
the powers are dope. Where she's like walking on the
Yeah,
shit.
I like that
Yeah.
she failed saving the kid.
I knew that was gonna
forgot to tell you,
happen. Yeah.
but I liked it because if they went too much and it was like already she's got her powers controlled, episode 2, I'd have been like, come on.
Yeah, and he didn't die. So
No,
like,
but he's just
yeah.
hurt. Oh, I think
Right.
his ankle's broken. Like you hear people yelling in the background.
Yeah, which it's like he would have been.
he would have died.
His ankles.
She still
there was
saved
more
him.
than his
Right.
ankles would have been broken.
She still
if
saved
didn't fail. Yeah. So let's all,
Last point I want to say: what's
all
with
chill.
the one agent for the Department of whatever?
Jan from The Office. You mean?
That's what she looks like.
That's who she is.
That's her.
I think
She
so.
lost a bunch of weight if she did. She does look like it.
I
She
think
just seems out
so.
of place, and that's the same dude from No Way Home. Like that's the guy
Yeah.
that grills Peter at the beginning.
Yeah.
So what
Where
are they
she
trying
like
to tie
comes
that
in and
into?
she's like, "What color was her skin, bro? Like, what the fuck?"
Got her.
Yeah. What? What are you talking
Put
about?
APB out on a
Like,
South Asian.
We're too white.
Like, I was trying to like, wait a minute. It got real weird and
You're mixing
cringy.
messages here, bro.
Yeah, like,
We're too
it
white
supposed to be
dudes
funny?
and probably shouldn't talk about it.
But I
like,
couldn't tell. I really couldn't tell if they were making a statement or they were trying to be funny because
they're
it was
going
like
so like accurate and like spending so much time
with
on
the
like,
Muslim
the
stuff and
stuff.
yeah.
Cool. I'm like,
and then all of a
fine.
sudden
Yeah.
it got weird.
Yeah, and then it's like, what color was she, bro?
She Spanish? She
Yeah.
Mexican? She Asian?
I thought that was
South
fucking
Asian?
weird too. Like, it was
South-
almost
it's
like
like-
in Moon Knight when, are you an Egyptian superhero? Like, what does it matter? I'm a superhero. Like, cool, dog.
I want to
know?
ask this question, and this isn't like any kind of like affront or negative thing to any religion in general, but like in the MCU world, when would you start to question your religion, even if you were super religious? Because like they didn't explain any of this, and like whether you're Muslim, Jewish, Christian, like we got alien super guys.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
In that world,
right? In that MCU world, like wouldn't you start going, why am I going to temple or why am I going to do these things? Because they didn't tell us. There's none of this.
What about a purple guy?
Right.
Yeah, gemstone. Half the universe disappeared.
He snapped his thumbs and everybody died. Where is that in the Bible or the Quran? You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah.
And I mean that from an actual like. I'm surprised they haven't addressed that in the universe because they are touching on the religious stuff, but you'd think there would be like people start to question their religions now and start to like really because you could have a bad guy take advantage of that. That'd be
There's
a good
probably
plot
some
point.
religion that they're working on. Maybe
it's going to
some
be
acolytes of Thanos or some garbage.
You almost have
like,
to at this
yeah.
point because
That's
the rest of
kinda
religions
what
make
Moon Knight was
no
doing
sense.
with like Ethan Hawke. He was like
Okay,
kind of
bringing back the Egyptian.
People. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but when like Egyptian shit like that happens, probably on the news, I would
you start
assume
thinking
people
that religion's real. It's that one.
The purple laser shooting out of the goddamn pyramid.
It's a gigantic bird-like creature fighting a gigantic dog-like creature with a gigantic hippopotamus. You know what I mean?
An
like
alligator. It's
oh
a giant
shit.
alligator
That's what I mean. Like
fighting a skeleton
Egyptians
bird.
were right.
What the fuck?
That religion's right. Right when you start thinking, maybe Jesus
What?
was an Avenger.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm just saying. Like, wouldn't you start thinking that stuff if you were religious? Because you'd be like, well, wait a minute. Maybe that's where all the stuff comes from.
We'll see, man. We still got like 5. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Or maybe there is some like. I totally get what you're saying. In that universe.
That universe.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Where there's magic stones, and time travel.
Right.
Literally. Literal time travel.
Literally.
Magic stones, multiverse.
Gigantic holes opened up in front of everyone all throughout the world, and things came through those holes.
What about the giant tentacle monster that attacked in...
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say, and I mean that like not from a place
People
from
know who
disrespect.
Doctor Strange is. He
Exactly.
can push people into
he
their
goes like
astral
this,
form.
and he walks from
astral form
New York
shit.
to China
Yeah.
in 1 second.
I'd question a lot.
Right? That's all I'm
question
saying.
a
It's not a
lot.
disrespect thing. It's
No.
like we need to address this in a universe thing.
We need to bring it up.
It needs to be brought up.
Absolutely.
Like there needs to be crazy people going, why are you still going to church of Thanos? Like you said, there's a lot to mine there.
Have the universe. It's not like, well, a couple people died in some holy land or no.
A purple guy showed up in a ship the size of the earth
and fought a giant green man. Got 2 people who can shrink. Couple space people, a talking raccoon, a talking tree.
I'm out. I don't believe anything anymore.
Yeah.
And I believe everything.
Peter Dinklage was tall. I mean, I'd question a lot if I saw that. Like, I'd question everything.
A giant, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this up. Again, clearly we like this show.
Literally.
Thor should have started the question.
Thor shows up. They're gods.
Like, okay, well, maybe that's real.
Yeah.
But then Thor's basically like, well, we're not gods. We're just like humans that live a long time that have powers. So there should make you go, time out.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is maybe
that.
people like you came here and tricked us all with books of religious stuff because you guys lived 10,000 years
like,
and we don't know.
We don't know, like, Khonshu and Ahmed are like gods. They could be just fucking aliens.
See, supposedly that's what the MCU is basically saying. They're just
giant.
They're just like
aliens.
what you call it from Asgard. They're like Asgardians, but from a different
right.
planet. So they also live 10,000, 20,000 years, and they're powerful.
They're just like projecting themselves.
So we're like, oh, they're gods because we're just dumb idiots.
We're just dumb specks.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally nothing.
That they take advantage of.
Yeah, that's what Thor shows up. It's like if the god of thunder showed up and Loki attacks New York, I'd be like, I guess
Norse mythology is real.
I guess Norse wins. Yeah.
Right?
Norse.
But then that's what I'm saying. Then all of a sudden, a couple years later, now the gigantic Egyptian alligators are fighting birds. You're like, okay, well,
I guess
shit,
maybe,
are all of them real?
Maybe Norse and Egyptians kind of got together.
Well, now we just wait for Jesus and Muhammad and all these people to just show up.
Yeah, right.
As superpowers.
Zeus is literally in
He's
the next
Thor.
They do Bast in fucking Black Panther. I mean,
so we got
they're in there.
So we need to start. I'm just saying we should address it.
Thanos isn't even posing as a god. He's just
a dude.
Spaceman.
He's a space dude.
Guy. He's a guy who destroyed half the universe.
He's a guy that he showed up.
What the fuck?
If he showed up on MCU Earth 1,000 years ago, they would have been like, that guy's a god, and we're going to worship the shit out of that guy.
His hand is gold.
Right.
People.
He snaps and things happen.
What the fuck?
You know what I mean? So anyway, I digress. That's a whole second part that we didn't even need to.
No, but it makes sense to bring it up in a show where they're spending so much time.
That's
on
what
it.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that doesn't get brought up. That's all.
I think because there's bigger themes to address when they bring it up. You know
right.
what I mean?
But I mean, when you spend 20 minutes of an episode in a church for a religion, in their version of their church, like, you think that would, like, one of them would say, like, I can't believe, like, no one's questioned Thanos. Even a line. That's all. Maybe that's why they're setting up the friend to run for the board and everything. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are going to address it, and I'm wrong.
Maybe they just, like, hard deny it. Like,
I could see that too, because that is a religious thing.
You know what
to
I mean?
do. No, you're not wrong.
No, not everybody disappeared. Nobody.
That didn't happen.
They came back.
We've
right?
had firsthand experience with people having proof showed directly to their face and them going, "Yeah, I'm going to need to see more of that."
Hulk is like, I brought half the universe back to life. Me, Bruce Banner,
Yeah.
a person. Yeah.
So,
Am I a god now? Am I a god? Like, literally, Thanos puts on the glove and you're a god. It's a god glove.
yeah, it's like Midas touch. The Midas touch.
It's literally
Trust
what it is.
the Thanos
Yeah.
touch.
Yeah. Especially when they put Zeus and Bast and fucking Amit and Khonshu and fucking, like...
I'm saying you got to address it. That's all I'm saying.
They mention it too often to not. Yeah, so...
And do we get a superhero Jesus-style person that's based on Jesus? And I'm not being funny.
Yes.
Because I see, like, that's the one they'll never do. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they did that in the comics.
I'm not saying it literally needs to be, and I'm not religious or anything.
No.
I'm just saying I don't need that. I don't need to be beat over my head. I just mean they're starting to see references for other religions and why they are religions. It's like because they're based on these people that were aliens that came down and tricked everybody, more or less.
Right.
Whether it was for good or bad reasons, that's what they did.
Even like the Celestials.
Even
they're just
the
like
Celestials,
a race of people. And they just happen to be big and giant.
And they can just live for 1,000 times longer than we
That's
can.
just, hey, some people win. Some people get the big straw.
They get the full house when they get dealt their hand.
Yeah, the royal flush.
The royal fucking flush.
Yeah, of species.
We got a pair of twos.
We folded. The human race folded.
It's like, oh, I got 2 twos. What do you got? Yeah, royal flush. Oh.
All in. All in, baby.
Will he call my bluff? All right, like, subscribe, check out. We got episode 1, obviously Miss Marvel up. He put the Puss in Boots 2 trailer, which I love. I watched our video of that, and I actually watched me genuinely laugh watching that, and I can tell. I think that's going to be a good movie.
It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited. I will go. Yeah, I'll go see that movie.
We got some I will. Yeah. We got Pixar discussions. We got a third person coming in with their top 25, so we'll have some more parts of that this week or next week because Lightyear comes out Fridays. We got stuff in the can. Yeah, we got reviews coming out.
Obi-Wan next week will come out with the last 3 episodes.
And I know you're hated already, but supposedly they are pulling the nose up on the last episodes. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. There's an article without spoilers that literally says Obi-Wan finally gave reason for having Hayden Christensen back or whatever. Finally the excuse is why they cast him.
Oh, you mean when they casted him and then when it's Darth Vader, it's
not him.
Michael
it's the
Clark
guy
Duncan
from
or whatever.
It's the dude from the movies.
Yeah.
That's everybody was pissed. But I think the entire episode is Hayden Christensen Obi-Wan.
Oh,
is what it sounds like.
Do we get him in Clone Wars clothes?
Yes, we get flashbacks. That's what I'm saying. We're finally getting what everybody actually. Like I told you, we had to get those 4 episodes of hot garbage out of the way, and now we're gonna get.
There are inquisiting people
everywhere. You're welcome.